Perhaps the most famed logical proof of all for the existence of God is the so-called argument from motion. Although originating from Aristotle, the argument in its most popular and fully developed form comes to us from the general doctor, St. Thomas Aquinas. Unfortunately, however, it's also one of the most frequently misunderstood, for most take the argument from motion to be regarding kinetic causation, but in truth, the argument is something far more subtle. Let us take a look at the summarized argument as put forth in the saint's Summa Theologicae. It is certain and evident to our senses that in the world some things are in motion. Now whatever is in motion is put into motion by another, for nothing can be in motion except it is in potentiality to that towards which it is in motion, whereas a thing moves, inasmuch as it is in act. For motion is nothing else than the reduction of something from potentiality to actuality. But nothing can be reduced from potentiality to actuality except by something in a state of actuality. Thus that which is actually hot, such as fire, makes wood, which is potentially hot, to be actually hot, and thereby moves and changes it. Now it is not possible that the same thing should be at once in actuality and potentiality in the same respect, but only in different respects. For what is actually hot cannot simultaneously be potentially hot, but it is simultaneously potentially cold. It is therefore impossible that in the same respect and in the same way a thing could be both mover and moved, that is, that it should move itself. Therefore whatever is in motion must be put into motion by another. If that which is put into motion be itself put into motion, then this also needs to be put in motion by another, and that by another again. But this cannot go on to infinity, because then there would be no first mover, and consequently no other mover, seeing that subsequent movers move only inasmuch as they are put into motion by the first mover, as the staff moves only because it is put into motion by the hand. Therefore it is necessary to arrive at a first mover, put into motion by no other, and this everyone understands to be God. Right from the onset, modern English readers face a problem, and this problem is the word motion. For modern English readers, motion means local change, and only local change. Yet, when Aquinas uses the term motion, well, actually he used the Latin term motus, which is invariably translated into English as motion due to motion being clearly derived from and having the same common usage as motus, it means something more. To St. Thomas, the word motion means any change whatsoever, and this is apparent in that he describes becoming heated as motion, although we now know today that heat is actually the result of a local change on the molecular level. The men of St. Thomas's day did not know this, believing heat to be nothing more than a quality, rather than a local change. So it is evident that motion here does not mean local change, but any change. Thus Aquinas goes on to use the Aristotelian definition of change. Motion is nothing else than the reduction of something from potentiality to actuality. In other words, when a potential state becomes an actual one, something has changed. Farther, St. Thomas notes the following: nothing can be reduced from potentiality to actuality, except by something in a state of actuality. And this is because actuality, taken in regards to itself, in other words, act qua act, is being itself. For those who are unfamiliar with the Thomistic distinction between being and essence, it is the force of a thing's existence, or that which posits an aspect of an essence into reality. You can reference De Ete et Essentia, or On Being and Essence by St. Thomas Aquinas for more detail on that. And in contrast, potential, taken in regards to itself, or potency qua potency, is non-existence. And nothing which does not actually exist causes anything. Such would be absurd. Therefore nothing can be reduced from potentiality to actuality except by something in a state of actuality. Moreover, the above farther implies that it is not possible that the same thing should be at once in actuality and potentiality in the same respect, but only in different respects, for it is a direct logical contradiction for something to simultaneously exist and not exist in the same manner at the same time, and therefore it is again impossible that a non-existent thing can provide its own being, or be the cause of its own existence. So St. Thomas states the necessary conclusion: whatever is in motion must be put into motion by another. Put in a way less likely to be misunderstood, whatever changes must be put into a state of change by something else, as per all of the aforementioned. But crucially in this argument, Aquinas tells us this cannot go on to infinity. because then there would be no first mover and consequently no other mover, seeing that subsequent movers move only inasmuch as they are put into motion by the first mover, as the staff moves only because it is put into motion by the hand. Expressed mathematically, if we count the number of causes required to amount to any given result, which will itself be a cause, let's say resulting cause number 5 for example, within a causational system which regresses infinitely, we will run into this problem. This means that no matter how many causes exist within an infinitely regressing series, there will never be enough to produce cause number 5, or any other given cause for that matter. In other words, if causation regressed infinitely, nothing would be caused and nothing would change, because no number of causes could ever produce any result. Therefore, because things do change, causation in the real world does not regress infinitely. Therefore, it is necessary to arrive at a first mover, put into motion by no other. Now, as something can only cause another insofar as it is in act, and as anything with potential is only in act insofar as it has been caused to be in act, the first mover being, by definition, not itself caused, it follows necessarily that it lacks potential, and is purely actual. It is therefore immutable, because of this lack of potential, which is necessary for motion, that is, change. Farther, it is therefore eternal, neither coming to be nor going out of being, which would be change. Even more, it is immaterial, because all material has the potential for local change, and, as Occam's razor then dictates, intelligent, as the only known immaterial actual thing is the intellect. Reference our article On the Soul at rationalcatholicism.com for more information on that. The implications go even farther, and are enumerated on in both of St. Thomas's Summas, Summa Contra Gentes and Summa Theologicae. When all are considered, they lead us unavoidably to his closing remark on the unmoved mover. This, everyone understands to be God. That's all for this video. Citations and the text version of this article with footnotes are in the description. Let me know what topics you guys would like to see next, and I'll talk to you in the next video.